The Lockheed Martin F-35 is widely considered the apex predator of modern aviation, the benchmark for what a fifth-generation fighter can achieve. Military forces from Belgium to Japan are currently restructuring their fleets to accommodate it, seeking the specific advantages of its passive stealth and integrated sensor network. For most nations, acquiring the F-35 is more than a hardware update. It is a long-term commitment to the NATO ecosystem and a formal alignment with American defense standards. Yet Saudi Arabia, historically one of Washington's most vital strategic partners in the Middle East, is walking away from the F-35. Instead of the American stealth jet, Riyadh is putting its multi-billion-dollar weight behind the French-made Dassault Rafale. This raises a difficult question. Why would a nation with nearly limitless resources decline the most technologically advanced aircraft in the world? On paper, the choice is confusing because the initial purchase prices are deceptively close. Both jets cost between $80 and $110 million, depending on the configuration. The real separation is operational cost. The Rafale costs $15,000 per flight hour. The F-35 requires up to $50,000 for that same hour. This gap is driven by stealth requirements. Maintaining the F-35's composite skin demands constant expert-level attention. This creates a heavy logistical burden, as ground crews must manage sensitive resins and precision coatings in climate-controlled hangars between missions. For many buyers, the F-35 is less an asset and more a financial vacuum, consuming defense budgets long after the delivery is made. The Rafale relies on a different philosophy. It lacks total passive stealth, but it compensates with extreme versatility and a sophisticated electronic warfare suite. Its primary defense is the Spectra system, a digital shield that identifies incoming threats and uses active jamming to make the aircraft impossible to track. While the jet flies at Mach 1.4, its EMTI computer is performing a complex data fusion, merging long-range tracking from the RBE-2 radar with infrared sensors and allied data to give the pilot a single, comprehensive view of the battlefield. This omni-role approach prioritizes agility and electronic dominance, handling a wide variety of missions without the high-maintenance constraints of a stealth-first design. But the biggest obstacle for Riyadh isn't the cost or the technology, it's the software. The F-35 is built to be part of a mandatory U.S.-managed data network called Odin. This network links every jet back to a central hub in the United States. It allows Washington to track every flight, mandate software updates, and even restrict the digital codes required to clear spare parts for maintenance. This creates a significant political risk. If a nation pursues a policy Washington opposes, its Air Force can be grounded by a remote decision. For Riyadh, the F-35 doesn't just represent an airplane, it represents a loss of operational autonomy. Dassault wins by offering the opposite. The Rafale is built on an open architecture that guarantees industrial sovereignty for the buyer. Once a nation takes delivery, they have complete ownership of the hardware. They can integrate their own sensors or independent weaponry, like the Meteor and Scalp missiles, without needing a foreign digital signature to fly. The French model provides something the American one cannot, a guarantee that the nation's defense remains entirely in its own hands. Saudi Arabia isn't alone. Egypt, India, the UAE, and Greece have all prioritized this same independence, selecting the Rafale as a way to decouple their military strength from foreign political approval. Technical superiority is a major factor, but it is secondary to the power of action. For these nations, the ultimate advantage isn't being invisible to the enemy, it's being independent of their allies.